Okay. Welcome back to the Comic Corner Classic Non-Classics. Episode number 1882 and Doubleshot number 1776. Well, like I mentioned in the last Comic Corner, a Green Arrow trade and a Preacher trade. Alright, first up it is Green Arrow and Black Canary, Volume 3, A League of Their Own. Collecting only 4 issues this time. Yep, only 4 issues. Yeah, just collecting issues 11 to 14 plus some stuff from Green Arrow Secret Falls Orders number 1. Yep. Of course, they're written by Joe Winnick, artwork by Mike Norton. The cover art is done by, of course, Philip Ching. Also, that's 2 stories. League of Their Own is first done by them. The Parting Shot is basically done by Joe Winnick and Drago Breach. A cover art by Matt Wagner. So, in the first half of the story arc, it's published here, which, by the way, this continues from issues last trade, where they confront the person who they thought was Roz, was not really Roz at all. And there's a guy with him who basically can, good telling the truth. And yeah, they were not working for Roz, and they mentioned by a tall Asian woman with a dragon tattoo. So it turns out they were working for not for Roz, but for Shadow, an old love interest from the past of Green Arrow, who, get this, had sex with with Oliver Queen when he was having a fever, and gave him a boy. Well, basically gave her a child. So, yeah, and basically, get this. So, they find out she's behind kidnapping Connor and Plastic Man of all people. Why the heck Plastic Man for? Well, it's because apparently Dr. Savannah is involved with this. You're thinking, Dr. Savannah? That name sounds vaguely familiar. Is he enemy of some famous superhero of DC Comics? Yes, he's no enemy of Captain Marvel, aka Shazam. Yes, seriously, they want to work with Dr. Savannah of all people, who apparently has got a bunch of these clones, and of course, 2 people in these masks are just Connor and Robert. Yes, Robert. It's been hinted this character Robert is basically named after Robert Queen, the original, but they don't really go into it at all. I think his next appearance after this storyline was actually in the Connor Hawk Bloodhawk miniseries, which I think I read that one. I don't really remember. So they free Connor, and Dr. Savannah basically gets away. So the next story is basically retraining Connor. Now, he does remember now, apparently he suffered through semi-amnesia. I mean, he does know who Oliver is. He knows his father. He knows his Green Arrow. He also knows who his mother is, who Diana is, who Roy is, who Mia is. He also remembers that basically Oliver and him was a child. The fact we met was adults. Good character stuff here from Joe Winnick. Just a lot of really good storytelling here on the part of him. Yeah. And, it's just really fun storytelling on the part of him. And I'm just going to give this book a 10 out of 10. Just damn good here. Now, in case you're curious, though, does this trade here wrap up Judd Winnick's run for Green Arrow and Black Canary? You might ask, was this the final story he worked on? For this book. And do you want to answer that one? Well, I'll give an answer to that one. And the answer is yes, this was the last story arc that he worked on for the book. Yep, so this is pretty much the end of his run for Green Arrow Black Canary. But not his run for Green Arrow, but we'll get my final thoughts on his run for Green Arrow Black Canary. I gotta admit, his run was actually really good. Damn good storytelling here. By the way, they did collect his run for Green Arrow in a trade known as WS Part, which collected the first 14 issues of this run, plus the Black Canary Wedding Special, which is interesting the fact they did that. And pretty much in a way with the very next issue, I believe that he's taken out by J.T. Kroll for the remainder of the series. No, it's not J.T. Kroll, it's yeah, basically he's placed by Andrew Kreisberg. You're probably thinking, that sounds familiar. Yeah, he's the guy who created shows like the Arrowverse. And he pretty much did the next few trades that we have for Green Arrow and Black Canary. He did from issues 15 and 29. So, yeah, he did pretty much the next 2 trades, which I'll probably get in the future. But in the case, my overall thoughts on the Joe Winnick run for Green and Black Canary. Damn good. Really fun stuff here. If you're a fan of Green Arrow, you'll be able to enjoy this. But this is not the end of Joe Winnick's time on Green Arrow. I still got to review his run for Green Arrow itself. So, in the case of Black Canary, damn good stuff. Alright, next up it is basically Return to Preacher. This is Preacher Book 2. Collecting issues 13 to 26. Yeah, and this gets weirder. Of course, the creative team in this book never changes the whole book. Garth Dennis in the writing, Steve Dillon in the artwork, and the cover art is not done by Steve Dillon, it's done by Glenn Freyby. We get to development in this series for Jesse Coulter, where he meets up with the guy who apparently knew his late father, John Coulter, who was a Vietnam vet. Apparently, it's also revealed in here that Jesse's father died back in 1974. Good moment there for that one, but that's not the big thing we start with. We start with basically we have Jesse and Tulip basically having sex in a hotel room. No, seriously. That's what we start out with. And we also have this guy called Star, who appears in here. Yep, Star. He is pretty much kind of one of the main villains of this series. And there's also this overweight guy known as the Allfather. And he is disgusting. My gosh. The guy eats like 5 plates with a big full of food. And then he sticks his stick in his throat that comes with a vomit. I'm like, ugh, that's disgusting. And he's like, oh, not ready for dessert. Right after he just vomited. I'm like, that is so disgusting. Who the heck would see this stuff in here? Yes. I'd like to talk more about the guy because the guy gets killed off by Star by having him shove him a freaking helicopter. Yeah, helicopter's lifting off. A push by a helicopter, a blast out a bunch of soldiers. Yeah, get rid of the gross guy and having Star become the new Allfather. Okay, fine. Yeah, and also he's interested in Jesse Coulter. Jesse does meet him briefly in here. He gets killed off here, but I just don't want to talk about this guy very much because he just gross. My gosh. So this guy called the Child, who apparently is his child, but doesn't really go to it all. They also describe him as a bulimic. I have no idea what the heck that is. It just makes me sick in my stomach basically seeing this guy. So, moving on from him. Aside from that one character, these issues are still pretty good. Give this book a 9 out of 10. But only, I should point out though, only for adults because this is a Vertigo-based book. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Particular review. Sorry for this being pretty short, but I just don't want to talk much about that particular trait because of that gross character. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it could be for this particular review. Stay tuned for tomorrow. For my review for Overlord, plus maybe Comic Corner or 2. Who knows? I do have a couple physical trades left to go in my stack. Yeah, I do have 2 trades left. I do have other trades I got from Comic Con, which I haven't read yet, but the trades I got right now, I got 2 trades left, and that's it. But I still also have my digital trades I checked out on the Poll app. Yep. Still got about 10 of those to do. So, you'll probably see more of that in the future. Okay, next video. Bye.